Today I want to talk about Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping was born in Beijing on June 15, 1953, the third child of Xi Zhongshuan and his second wife Qi Xian. After the founding of the PRC in 1949, Xi's father held a series of posts, including party propaganda chief, vice premier, and vice chairperson of the National People's Congress. She had two older sisters, Xiao Xiao, born in 1949, and Nanan, born in 1952. Xi's father was from Fubing County, Shaanxi. She went to the Beijing Bai School, and then the Beijing No. 25 school in the 1960s. He became friends with Liu Ha, who attended Beijing No. 101 school in the same district, later became China's vice premier and a close advisor to Xi after he became China's paramount leader. In 1963, when he was aged 10, his father was purged from the CCP and sent to work in a factory in Luoyang, Henan. In May 1966, the Cultural Revolution cut short Xi's secondary education when all secondary classes were halted for students to criticize and fight their teachers. Student militants ransacked the Xi family home, and one of Xi's sisters, Xi Heping, was persecuted to death. Later, his mother was forced to publicly denounce his father, as he was paraded before a crowd as an enemy of the revolution. His father was later imprisoned in 1968 when she was aged 15. Without the protection of his father, she was sent to work in Liangjiahe village, Wanani, Yanchuan County, Yan'an, Shaanxi. In 1969, in Mao Zedong's Down to the Countryside movement, he worked as the party secretary of Liangjiahe, where he lived in a cave house, according to people who knew him. This experience led him to feel affinity with the rural poor. After a few months, unable to stand rural life, he ran away to Beijing. He was arrested during a crackdown on deserters from the countryside and sent to a work camp to dig ditches, but he later returned to the village. He then spent a total of 7 years there. The misfortunes and suffering of his family in his early years hardened Xi's view of politics. During an interview in 2000, he said, "People who have little contact with power, who are far from it, always see these things as mysterious and novel. But what I see is not just the superficial things, the power, the flowers, the glory, the applause. I see the bullpens and how people can blow hot and cold. I understand politics on a deeper level." The bullpens was a reference to Red Guards detention houses during the Cultural Revolution. After 7 rejections, she joined the Communist Youth League of China in 1971 on his 8th attempt after he befriended a local official. He reunited with his father in 1972. Because of a family reunion ordered by Premier Zhou Enlai. From 1973, he applied to join the CCP 10 times and was finally accepted on his 10th attempt in 1974. From 1975 to 1979, The son of Chinese Communist veteran Xu Zhongshuan, she was exiled to rural Yanchuan County as a teenager following his father's purge during the Cultural Revolution. He lived in a Yaodong in the village of Liangjiahe, Shaanxi Province, where he joined the CCP after several failed attempts and worked as the local party secretary. After studying chemical engineering at Tsinghua University as a worker peasant soldier student, she rose through the ranks politically in China's coastal provinces. She was governor of Fujian from 1999 to 2002, before becoming governor and party secretary of neighboring Zhejiang from 2002 to 2007. Following the dismissal of the party secretary of Shanghai, Chen Liangyu, she was transferred to replace him for a brief period in 2007. He subsequently joined the Politburo Standing Committee of the CCP the same year and was the first-ranking secretary of the Central Secretariat in October 2007. In 2008, he was designated as Hu Jintao's presumed successor as paramount leader. To that end, she was appointed vice president of the PRC and vice chairman of the CMC. He officially received the title of Leadership Corps from the CCP in 2016. She is the first CCP General Secretary born after the establishment of the PRC. Since assuming power, she has introduced far-ranging measures to enforce party discipline and to impose internal unity. His anti-corruption campaign led to the downfall of prominent incumbent and retired CCP officials, including former PSC member Zhou Yongkang. He has also enacted or promoted a more aggressive foreign policy, particularly with regard to China's relations with the U.S., the Nine-Dash Line in the South China Sea, and the Sino-Indian border dispute. He has sought to expand China's African and Eurasian influence through the Belt and Road Initiative. She has expanded support for state-owned enterprises, advanced military-civil fusion, overseen targeted poverty alleviation programs, and has attempted to reform the property sector. He has also promoted Common Prosperity, a series of policies designed with stated goal to increase equality. Oversaw a broad crackdown and major slew of regulations against the tech and tutoring sectors in 2021. She met with Taiwanese President Ma Ying-jeou in 2015, the first time PRC and Republic of China leaders met. Though relations deteriorated after Tsai Ing-wen of the Democratic Progressive Party won the presidential elections in 2016. He responded to the COVID-19 pandemic in mainland China with a zero-COVID approach from January 2020 until December 2022, afterwards shifting towards a mitigation strategy. She also oversaw the passage of a national security law in Hong Kong, especially pro-democracy activists. Often described as an authoritarian leader by political and academic observers, Xi's tenure has included an increase of censorship and mass surveillance, deterioration in human rights, including the internment of 1 million Uyghurs in Xinjiang, a cult of personality developing around Xi, and the removal of term limits for the presidency in 2018. Xi's political ideas and principles, known as Xi Jinping thought, have been incorporated into the party and national constitutions. As the central figure of the fifth generation of leadership of the PRC, she has centralized institutional power by taking on multiple positions, including new CCP committees on national security,